Are demons harmful? Now, what are demons? They are energetic beings that are completely focused on converting other beings into a similar nature as their own. And their nature is to go after a certain desire, even if it's an intellectual or egoic desire, and it's always connected to the ego, material satisfaction, as themselves, whether it be through their own infatuation with a certain desire or their own infatuation with a certain intellectual idea like I'm better or my power is above all others, and things of that matter. There are demonic hierarchies as far as which demons control others when we go to the different kings of hell, if you will. And now the various kings of hell, like Belial, are basically demons that have risen to a certain status. And I'm not going to list a whole bunch of names because I have no desire to attract any attention or start any spiritual wars. That's why I won't be mentioning very many names in this video, but another one might be Asmodeus. He can be considered possibly a king of hell, one of the kings of hell. Now, when it comes to individual demons, getting back to that topic, ones that are very much concerned with themselves and they aren't really in charge of anything, they can latch on to human beings. Not necessarily affecting us all the time. Not necessarily affecting the space that they might live in if they're more attached to a house or a space, or especially corners of rooms. Like there's a very geometric nature and angular nature that demons like to draw themselves into and project themselves out. But individual demons will feed on your inability to act against them. If they sense a strong will and you have no desire to work with demons, they will try to take everything from you that they can. Now, as far as when it comes to this material dimension, demons have a hard time manifesting actions within this dimension, in this material dimension. And there are many material dimensions, but this one and all the other material dimensions, they have a hard time manifesting any action or actually performing actions within this plane and planes around it, because they are by nature more to do with the energy of desire, more to do with the energy of ego than the manifestation of it, if that makes any sense. Now, if you have a desire to work with or for demons, I wouldn't advise working for, but if you have a desire to make pacts with demons, I've been studying demons for a long time, demon kings, even demon lords, or demonic type beings that you can't really call a lord or a king. I know that demons can benefit people who desire to work with them, but they will only benefit you with the exact thing that you want. And the cost is very much important to what you're trying to gain. Now, if you have no desire to lose something in return for whatever desire you're having satisfied, whether it be sex, drugs, power, money, physical strength, it's usually very basic things connected to this material dimension. If you have no desire to pay with, devotion from time to time, or devotion to anything demonic is not a good idea, because then they'll kind of take charge of your entire life if it's a devotion. But if it's just a pact, if it's like a cooperation, and you expect to just gain without losing anything, then that is an incorrect assumption. Now, it's not always the cost of your soul. A lot of the time, it's little things like, okay, let me go with you when you go do this thing, and let me influence you a little bit, or let me give me some of that food, or some of the drugs that you're doing, and allow me to basically use you as a channel and speak to you and through you to others, or just to yourself. Allow me to ask you to do certain random things out in the world that might seem trivial, but really solidify their connection to this material realm. It's not always big things like selling your soul, or go kill this person, or completely get rid of everything that you believe, whether it be your faith or your spiritual tradition. It's not always big things like that, unless you're dealing with a very big demonic force. But it's always a selfish exchange. They always want to gain more from you than you gain from them, and that is always the case. Now, people who work with demons and are okay with them and work with and make pacts with them and contracts in a way. A lot of times, a lot of the time, it's literally on paper. They will say that that's the exchange between everybody. Everybody has this desire to gain more out of somebody else than they give. And I don't agree with that assumption. I don't agree that the nature of reality is selfishness. I just don't agree with that. But there are many people that say, okay, well, make sure that you're getting what you want to do. If you want to make yourself, a living immortal, if you want to make yourself completely separate from humanity in the sense that you have extended your life beyond the bounds that you could ever imagine, I would simply ask why. Why are we so attached to our particular body, our particular ego, our particular identity and individuality? And a lot of the people that work with demons know about reincarnation, and they don't want to move on to another reincarnation. They don't want to move on to another incarnation. They want to basically extend the life of this one because they're very much attached to their desires and who they are now, to the extent that they'll sacrifice anything to extend this life with this ego. And a lot of people are willing to basically trap their antimaterial particle or soul. Antimaterial particle comes from Swami Prabhupada, Sri Swami Prabhupada, and it's from the book, I've discussed it in other videos, it's from the book Easy Travel to Other Planets. And he talks about the antimaterial particle not really being antimatter, because that has the similar nature of matter, but being the soul. And that's why we age, is because that antimaterial particle is trying to get out, and then eventually it does. And then it'll be trapped again until it's finally reached a point where its egos start to decide to merge back into God. But anyway, I'm getting very off topic. A lot of people who work with demons know about reincarnation, and they just want to extend themselves. And I would caution against working with any demon. Any demonic force would highly caution working with it, because their nature is to take more than they give, and the things that they give, they'll only give exactly what you said you want, even if in the end you find that it's not really what you wanted. That's why I work with higher vibration entities and beings and gods and spirits, whites, who are more concerned with the order of things and helping us towards a spiritually progressive goal, and not just a material progressive one. And material progressive goal kind of leads down, and then a spiritually progressive one leads to larger and larger degrees of unification with everything else and goes up. So are demons harmful to human beings? Not always in the physical sense. Sometimes it might not be physical, sometimes it might not be physical or emotional, but it's always spiritual, because they always basically lead us towards our desires and our ego, and away from that which transcends it. So demons always spiritually hurt us. It's not always big ways like selling your soul, but little ways. And not all demons are super powerful. You can fight a lot of them, and most demons, I've created a servitor that's kind of demonic, but really it's more to do with what it's particularly doing. And I have no desire to work with well-established demons, or work with ones that are beings in and of themselves. But sometimes you want to kind of boost your confidence a little bit, and you can work with a demonic servitor like that, and it's just supposed to boost your confidence. You don't have to make it demonic. You can make it more of an animal spirit, but you can also create a servitor to increase the amount of money that comes into you. Not at the expense of others, but this is a contract you can lay out. The demons that you work with that are external already and well established, that aren't created by you, will have a way that they write down their own contracts, and you will have to either read between the lines and realize that you don't want to do that, or just say, okay, this is what I'm willing to sacrifice. But demons are harmful to you spiritually, always. They are not harmful to you physically always, or emotionally always, but definitely always spiritually. So that answers the question of the video. Are demons harmful? Yes. especially human beings who have free will and don't have an established nature. That's what makes us so powerful, and that's why beings want us to work towards them, because we get to choose to work towards them. Our nature is not well established. We are not forced into these niches that are hard to get out of. Like animals, it's very hard for them to basically become enlightened because it's hard for them to choose enlightenment. But us humans, we have so much free choice that most people don't realize. So use that free choice to progress yourself away from the material and towards the metaphysical. Anyway, this has been a kind of a rant on Are Demons Harmful? But hey, thank you very much for watching. I hope this video is interesting to you. If you agree with me, if you disagree with me, if you have something to say or something to ask, feel free to shoot down in the comment section below. I respond to all comments that are put politely. And if you like this video at all, hit that thumbs up down there. It really helps out the channel. And I will see all of you in the future. Be careful, but also be you.